Howdy, what's going on, lads? I don't know why I said it like that, but what are we doing? Today we are back for some One Piece stuff. I know it's been like a year, but I don't know. I got hyped to do it again. I know the current chapter was crazy, but that's not exactly why. I wanted to take a step back last year and focus on my college and just generally other stuff, and I wanted to focus on learning. And I had my other reasons. I thought, maybe, I don't know, certain things, maybe having my face out there might not be great for getting a job or whatever. But I talked to a few people and it was like, who gives a shit? Everything's out there anyway, so fuck it. I didn't want to get rid of anything, so I was like, I want to do this now again, so why the fuck not? How are you getting on? It's been a year. We're going to talk about One Piece again. This chapter was generational. Fucking amazing. Oh my god, man. I actually loved it. I've been sitting with it for a few days. I kind of skimmed it a couple times. I haven't gone in depth with it because I don't make it as much theories or theory craft as much. So maybe I'll start going more in depth about things again. We'll have to see. This shit was crazy. Like this mural, I'm not obviously I can't show it, but like I'm looking at it right now. I'm looking at the mural. Well, a future awaits AMV, but anyway, I'm looking at the mural, and this shit is crazy. I'm trying to figure out which one of these is the Noah, right? Because a lot of like I initially thought this one where with like the big serpent that's fire with the rope around his head, well, what looks like a rope design, and that was the Noah. But then I saw depictions of it being like an L ship. The That looks like the samurai ship very clearly. I don't know what this one is. It's the sun pattern. I initially thought it would be the whatchamacallit, the fishman, but I don't think so. Because then if this is the Noah, then it will be the fishman. But it's such a crazy ass design. Like, this is crazy. All the stuff and the D basically being revealed is crazy as well. The half moons. That's an interesting way to look at it. I don't remember what I said my theory was on it, but I love this approach, right? And I'll tell you why. Because I don't know the opinions on people. I actually haven't watched stuff on it because I was waiting for different things. But my main opinion on this mural is very simple. I either think they're setting up for like obviously multiple sun gods. You had Bonnie and Egghead with Luffy. You have Loki right now and all this different stuff, right? They're very clearly setting up different sun gods. But what I think it is allowing for Luffy to create his own fate, right? They all have this expectation of what the sun god is and the different interpretations. I think Luffy, besides like all the laughter, like, right? Besides all of that, right? He's obviously going to bring out his own version. He's going to shatter all the mythology. He's going to be his own person. He's as he always said, as he said against his fight against Kaido, he's like, I'm Monkey D. Luffy. I'm going to be king of the pirates. He ain't Nika. You know what I mean? Nika ain't that guy. He's someone else. He's not going to be tied down to someone else's willpower. You know what I mean? So Luffy's going to shatter all of this, I think. I think it's going to eventually lead up to being the mural, similar to the mural. But I do think Luffy's going to shatter the idea. At the end of the day, I don't think the final war it's going to set up like this, right? Wi-Fi's gone out. Beautiful. It's going to be set up like this. Obviously, you're going to have like this panel is probably going to play out in the story with like Loki and Green Bull. People say the tree is Green Bull. That'd be crazy if Green Bull's this important. I hope he's not, man. I fucking hate Green Bull. I don't know if I was making videos around this time. I can't remember when I stopped. I stopped it a year ago, so I think I was. I fucking hate Green Bull, man. But yeah, I hope he's not the tree. I hope it's someone else or some other, like the Atom tree. It could symbolize that this part of the story is going to happen on Elbaf. Like this is the massive Yggdrasil tree. That could totally be a thing. I just assume this guy here is Loki with the horns. He could not be. And what's the theory on the fellow with the eye patch? Because I immediately just thought Frankie. I know it's probably not Frankie. He doesn't have that major of an importance. And anyway, I don't think the Straw Hats will be shown on here. I think they're just symbolized by Nika, who's going to be Luffy, right? I don't know. Unless, is this Zoro? No, it's a shield, so it's not. And then the flying bird, is that Marco? I don't know. Like, Marco being at the front here, if this is Marco, is crazy. I know a lot of people a lot of people now. All of a sudden, I saw this because I saw people online are now going towards the big creature being Blackbeard. I love that idea. You know my theories on Blackbeard, on like him being the final villain, him killing Emu. You know, him being the one to kill Emu and bring the world into chaos. Again, I'm pretty sure I made a video on that, but I can't remember it entirely. I know I had a video on like Emu killing a Kainu. Do you know what I mean? But then I changed my mind because I was like, oh no, Blackbeard will kill Emu. Because I think that would make perfect sense, right? Like Emu is this big, huge, terrifying force. This would allow him to fight against Dragon as well. Because if he's not the main villain, Dragon can have his fight against him and not really undermine the story. Like, and then Luffy can have his main fight against Blackbeard, right? I mean, it can still be thematically relevant because of all the things. Like, you might have a team up. I could definitely see a team up fight between Dragon, Garp, and Luffy against Emu, and then show how powerful Emu is, and then all of a sudden it's like Emu's like either they're about to win or Emu's about to beat them, and Blackbeard just goes zay ha ha and like runs straight through. Like, it's gonna be real graphic. Like, I imagine like the Black Zetsu Madara sort of stuff, but like I always imagine his hand coming up like this, you know, like the darkness coming into the panel. It's like zay ha ha as he like clenches and pulls out, and it's just a massive gash. You know what I mean? And it's I just imagine that. I've always seen that in my head. So I could see that, and then like it would be really interesting. I don't know, because we see, as I've said, like I always believed in the Zero Gears idea, that throughout the story, Luffy would begin to rely less on the gears, and in a way, we have seen that in the Abath arc with him being able to turn Gear 4 into a part of his normal moveset. You know what I mean? His arm just goes Gear 4, or certain elements of him just goes Gear 4. You know, in that regard. I don't know though. It's something. It's something. I don't know. I'm just spitballing again. I'm not used to coming back to this. I'm talking. All my ideas that I haven't talked about are coming back to me as I go. So this is just going to be me spitballing, catching up on things. You know, I'm just having a bit of fun. But yeah, obviously as the years got on, I become a bigger fan of Blackbeard. Because, I don't know, man, initially I think he just looked a bit weird to me, and I was like, that's the final villain. But, like, I realized he's so cool. Like, just how he is, how in opposition to Luffy he is, and just how fucking wild and weird he is. You know what I mean? I love my badass villains, okay? I love my suave, badass villains. But there's something to be said about a complete and utter madman who's, like, missing a few teeth, and whiling out all the time, and is just despicable in every way. But it's just it's actually I've grown a lot more appreciation for Blackbeard in the last year. I think because I feel like, even though I was a massive fan of One Piece, I was very like, my mindset on character designs are very restrictive. I think I just grown to not give a shit as much. If they look cool, I don't care. I just like, it doesn't look badass. What's this about? You know what I mean? I feel like, but now I've come to really appreciate Blackbeard's design and him as a character. I don't know. There's a lot to him as well, like the whole storyline with Garp and all this, and the Garp's like flashbacks and stuff, and taking over the world and that. It's great. It's fascinating, to be honest with you. And there's a lot of stuff with Shanks now. I don't want him to kill Shanks. The more this goes on, I really don't want him to kill Shanks. I know this isn't important to the chapter because we're talking about the mural, right? But if he is, it would make sense if he's the final boss and Emu's not the final boss, for him to kill Shanks. Like, maybe he has this whole thing with Garling and his brother, and he's like, all this. I just feel like he's going to be sneaky, right? I feel like if he's going to kill the main villain, I don't want him to kill Shanks. If Shanks is going to die, I want him to die doing something else or die at the very end. I've grown to the idea of Usopp dying, though, in recent months with this. I'll talk about that later. But yeah, this mural, like, I have a lot to say about it. In terms of Dragon, you know what I thought about Dragon. He didn't make his move in Egghead. That's a big L for me. I'm going to say he's doing it again because he said he'd move when the God Knights move. But you never know. You never know, man. My Dragon stocks have gone down. I just like Salvo a lot more now, I think. I love Dragon, right? I've always said, in my opinion, until the son meets the father in manga, he is never stronger than the father. I think I still think there's an argument for him to be top 1. I know I made my top 30 like a year ago, and Shanks was top 1, and I still kind of stand by that, right? I think Luffy will be top 5 after he meets Shanks, so I think he'll be top 5 in this arc because Shanks. But I still think that once we meet Shanks, that to me, if we meet Shanks before we meet Dragon, that confirms Dragon is stronger than Shanks because they both play similar roles. So I kind of have them in that sort of way. Like until Luffy meets them again, or for Dragon's case meets them at all, they're going to be stronger. Like they're both top 1 contenders for me. Man, the idea of like, I don't know though, if like Mihawk, man, I'm not even going to talk about Mihawk. I'll talk about Mihawk next time Cross Guild shows up. I have my opinions on Mihawk. Besides, I want that Cross Guild unit in Bounty Rush belt. I'm back on the Bounty Rush grind. I know I quit last time I was making videos. I think I said I quit, but I'm back on it. I got Garp. Let's go. Anyway, yeah, no, it's just insane. Like I people who think Dragon is like weaker than Luffy right now, bro, this shit, I think this shit shows it. Okay, I mean, you could easily say the guy in the middle is Dragon, you know, because we've symbolized, you know, Dragon and stuff and having that symbolization, but he could also be the big huge serpent thing like at the other end, and to me that would make a lot of sense. Because if this is Emu, then that would make a ton of sense. If this is not Emu, if the one on the left is not Emu, then the one on the right is not Dragon. But if this is Emu, it's definitely Dragon. In fact, it would make a lot, but I feel like Dragon is more than likely actually going to be the dragon in the image. In which case, are we going to, like, in which case, the dragon is aiming his fire at this creature. So could this be Emu? And then this is Blackbeard. Like, are we gonna get a thing? Like, it could easily be said team up between like the world government and the pirates to take down Blackbeard, but I'd hate that. But if we look at this image, if we look at this image, everyone else is fighting against this creature on the left, and then the dragon is attacking this creature on the right by the looks of things. So what if like Blackbeard becomes so powerful that everyone's trying to finish him off first? They're like, we'll deal with Emu later, right? But Dragon's like, I can't let my chance slip away, right? And that's when we get our fight between Emu and Blackbeard. That would go insane. I don't know how he'd work it because I really love the idea of Blackbeard killing Emu. I love that idea. I adore it. Like, to such a degree, it's like one of my favorite ideas. I'm sure it's become very common, but when I thought about it, man, a while back, I loved it. I loved the whole concept behind it. It's sick. And Aokiji, man, I saw a video. I can't remember the creator. I think it's the Bink Sake guy or the D Sake guy. He made a video on Sanji versus Aokiji, and now I really love that idea as well. So it fits to me, you know. Aokiji sticking around for the, you know, end of the world government in a sense, and kind of suffering from his choices in a way. I don't know. Actually, watch that video. That's a great video. I'm sure that's a fantastic video. Actually, Sanji versus Aokiji. That was an idea I never thought of. I always thought Aokiji would have fought Robin, but yeah, it wouldn't make sense probably in the grand scheme of things. Like, I don't think he'd want to fight Robin. I don't think that stands with any of his ideals. But I don't know. I am having a bit of my coffee real quick. Oh, sorry, drinking it like that. It might be a bit weird, but has me local coffee shop, so trying to cover the name, you know. Have to be careful with that shit. Anyway, what was I saying? Yeah, so I don't know if I'd like that idea if Emu is still around and Blackbeard's not dead. Or, sorry, and Emu's not dead and Blackbeard isn't dead and they're all fighting at the same time. So I hope this is Dragon and this is somebody else, but I don't know who that is. It could be a simulation, or it could be a idea of the Celestial Dragons themselves. Like, this could just be symbolizing the Celestial Dragons and then fighting back to maintain Marijoa, and then this is Dragon, like, trying to take it away. Because then you could say this tree is the red line. I don't know. There's loads of interpretations, right? I'm not going to try and interpret the ships because I'm too stupid for that. The only one I can tell for sure is that, oh, never mind, the fishermen aren't the ship here. They're here in the front. You've got a Tontata, and I'm assuming this is Shirahoshi. I know it looks like Neptune, but because of the Tontata and her relationship with Leo now, I think for certain that Shirahoshi's going to take up power by this point in the story. Then is this guy in the front Momo? That would be wild if that was Momo, actually. That would be crazy. I'd love that as well. Yeah, I love the idea now that this is the Red Lion and this is like the Celestial Dragon trying to fight back. But then the moon is right here as well, so then this ship here is probably not the Noah. It is probably NL's ship. There's so much stuff going on with this mural. Let me read the shit out again. The first world, the earth is engulfed in flames, and the hearts of men burn with desires. They reach for the forbidden star. From whispered prayers, the sun god rose, beckoned by the enslaved. The god of the land was enraged with the serpent of fire. They cast the world into ruin. Darkness fell. Death reigned again. They would not meet again. The second world, a breath stirred in the abyss. The god of the forest summoned its devils. Well, oh shit, I'm fucking drooling. Jesus fucking Christ. I can't. Oh, do you know what? I'm a fucking gobshite. The second world. A breath stirred in the abyss. The god of the forest summoned its devils, while the sun lit the embers of war. Those of the half and the full moons dreamed, yet the ones who slew the sun defied themselves, invoked the wrath of the sea god. They would not meet again. The third world, chaos reigns. The earth drifts into a void, yet time does not erase the memory of the promised day. Its shadow looms and the voice of the half-moon echoes through the ages, and once more the sun god shall rise again, laughing and dancing, guiding the world into its final act. The sun is reborn, a new dawn will break, and surely this will be the time they meet. Bro, okay. Regardless of my little stint there, oh shit, went into the camera hub. Regardless of my little fucking drooling stick. Oh god. Fucking hell, man. Or was it? I don't know. Coffee still unswallowed. What was I saying? Fucking yeah. No, I'm reading that out again in whatever fucking animation things I was trying to do. I don't know if that looked stupid or looked funny or what, because I was reading it, so I didn't have the thing on. I was trying to do movements to fit with that. But I think now the third world. So I'm very certain about my idea now, because this basically talks about the like Blackbeard turning the world into a void, you know, taking the reins of the world. The second world is very clearly like the first world is actually very clearly the current world, right? Because it's like the red serpent, the red lion, right? And then I don't know what the second world invokes, because it's talking about devil fruits very clearly, and the half moons, and what? Who are the full moons? Like obviously the D's are the half moons. Who are the full moons? Right? Because the sun defied themselves, invoking the sun defined themselves, invoking the wrath of the sea god. They would not meet again. Also, they would not meet again, and they would not meet again. It could be Shanks and Luffy, or could be fucking Dragon and Luffy. It'd be funny. It's like, oh yeah, Dragon and Luffy are only going to meet in the final chapter when we bring the dawn. And that would be crazy stuff right there. It would be. Insane stuff. Oh, man. I don't know, though. I love this stuff. I'm going to stop talking about the mural and talk about the rest of the chapter. At this stage, I'm just going to go backwards and go up. I love the fact that Frankie is finding this and they're all thinking about Robin. Everyone's thoughts in this arc are running back to Robin. It's crazy. This arc is becoming a Robin arc, bro. Usopp's getting nothing. Usopp is done. Usopp's stocks are finished. He is so done. Fella is not getting anywhere in life, man. Oh, this poor guy. Right, speaking on this, man. him dying makes so much sense now because it's just I feel like his whole thing, like Oda doesn't want to give him a proper power up because he wants him to be the weak human embodiment of the Straw Hats. But like, come on, man, your whole thing where Zoro is literally that. He's like someone who focuses, who's willpowered on that, who's like really dedicated to a craft, but he's still fucking human. The guy's not some like creature like Luffy with rubber or like scientifically enhanced like Sanji. The guy is just using pure strength and pure force of will to do what he has to do. You have a better human based character in Zoro. And I like Usopp, I like his storyline. But like at least incrementally make him stronger. Like the idea of keeping him weak, I think, is just really dumb. I don't like that idea anymore. I think it's stupid. I think it undermines his character, like the growth of his character. Like, all right, personally, okay, I think on a smaller scale, like Frieren, all right, I'm bringing in Frieren here. The idea Frieren opposed would have been a good idea, okay? For him to always be scared, but still step up and slowly get stronger and learn from other people he encountered. Do you know what I mean? Like, I personally think, right, at this point in the story, if I was thinking about Usopp's character arc, I would have him be stronger than Brook, at least. Be like three people away, just outside the weakling trio, right? Be the fourth weakest on the crew, but still be stronger than he was because he used to be the weakest. And why I'd have that is just because the gradual progression of strength. He doesn't have to be the strongest, but I feel like having will be such an important thing to, you know, the story, and to have someone like Usopp who's supposed to be the human character, the audience insert, having him be so weak and never grow in terms of strength is kind of just sad, and I'm kind of disliking it more and more over time. I don't know, man. Maybe it's just me. Like, I don't feel like his character arc is gonna come into play in this story as much. I feel I trust Oda, I really do, but there's a part of me that's just like, I worry that this won't be pulled off. You know what I mean? I worry that we'll focus so much on the greatness that is happening with this chapter, right? With the history and all that, and Robin's backstory, which Robin's story, which I care about. Okay, Robin is like my top 3 favorite characters in the show, so like obviously I care more about her than I care about Usopp, but still, I do think like Usopp being strong, I think, is important because it's the whole story is with the human will, and to have the character that represents the people or the human side of people on adventures who are terrified of what's happening. You know what I mean? I think him being somewhat strong would be important. Like, I don't know what power scaling is stupid. Okay, a lot of people, well, stupid in the sense where Oda's not accurate towards it. But in my opinion, right, Usopp right now, because the characters are so much stronger, he should be able to take out a pacifista on his own. I think he should be that strong. Personally, I think is where he should be at the moment. Like to that relatively, I think gradually increasing from how weak he was. But I'm not gonna rant about him for too long because there's so much shit going on. Like we get I love the interactions between Luffy, Nami, and Zoro. Like obviously, oh man, I love that shit, man. I love bringing back Arlong Park references. Nami has been just top tier for like character in the most recent arcs. She's ever since Whole Cake, man, because she didn't get too much focus after Punk Hazard. You know, anytime kids are involved, Nami gets a really big focus. Her and Chopper usually, but Chopper's been forgotten. Chopper's been forgotten since Wano. You know what I mean? No one gives a shit about Chopper, unfortunately. But like Robin or Nami has been really important in arcs like Punk Hazard or like Whole Cake Island. She had some great stuff in Wano. I rewatched Wano like last year, like the first 2 acts, and there was some cool stuff there with her interactions with Usopp, and then her fight with Usopp and against Ulti and Page one was actually a lot cooler than I remember. Because I watched the anime. The anime was really cool, and the fact they introduced her having hockey with Zeus, I love that shit, man. I love the Straw Hats getting hockey. In my head canon, they all have it, except for I don't think Usopp has armament hockey yet. I feel like his whole thing is he's gonna be like a mental like impossible strong observation hockey user with a bit of conquerors. Like, I don't know, man. I love those interactions, and I love how they're setting up for Shanks, like everything that's going on there. I feel like they're setting up for him to meet Luffy so much that he isn't. I feel like he's going to meet Shamrock, and that's going to be the big fight of the arc. And then we might even get into the final saga. And I think there could be an argument for the mural being played out in this arc, because if that tree turns out to be the Yggdrasil tree, I don't know. I could definitely see that happening, and I'm very fucking excited for that personally. Fuck, I'm going on a lot about this, man. I'm not used to talking this long again. I need to get back into it. You know what I mean? Work myself back into it. But I'm enjoying this back. It's good to be back to it, man. And now we're gonna talk about the Loki stuff, man. I love Loki. I love Loki. His design was fire. I haven't got to talk about it since he got introduced. His design, oh, beautiful. I love it so much. Such a beautiful design, man. I can't even speak. I love that design. Oh my god. And I really want him to be a cool character. I really want a lot of character development talk for him. Because, like, I reread Dressrosa, okay? And Oda is so good at making, like, a lot of impact for minimal time. Because I thought Rebecca was overused as fuck. You know I had my problems with Rebecca. I used to talk about it all the time. The manga doesn't really have those problems. And I didn't realize how little of the problems the manga has. Granted, I know I still have problems with her design, right? I'm always going to have issues with that design. I think it was unnecessary. You could show that by just having her wear, like, a dirty t-shirt. Do you know what I mean? With no protection, I feel like that would be better. You know what I mean? Just a dirty t-shirt, like homeless rags, essentially. You know? Like those, like like the homeless Garmati from Xenoblade 2. That's always what I imagine. When I imagine that change in design. But my aside from the design, man, the manga does her character a lot more justice. That whole everything with her and Kuros, man, the manga had me tearing up. I reread that recently as well. That is such a good arc. Though I think with Egghead, it's still not a top 5 arc, man. I have to go back and talk about that stuff at some stage. But oh man, I don't know. It's insane though. It really is. Beautiful stuff. Oda's a master, man. He actually is. Like, Egghead is top 3 for me at the minute. Egghead was beautiful. I'm sad I didn't get to talk about it at the time. I just had other stuff to focus on. But it was so beautiful, man. Crazy stuff. Crazy, crazy stuff. And he's just getting better all the time, you know? It's unbelievable. But what I was talking about Loki, yeah, that's why I was talking about Loki. Because if Rebecca, who got minimal screen time compared to, like, Vivi, and compared to Vivi and stuff, if he can pull off like a prince story, like he pulls off some of these princesses stories, Loki's about to be goated. He actually is. Like, I'm so excited to see what they do with Loki, man. And the way he's being recruited as a God's Knight by Shanks's brother Shamrock. Shamrock, lads, are we gonna get our Irish representation? You know, him and Shanks are ginger. His name is Shamrock. Look, it's a bit stereotypical, I can't lie, but you know what? We'll take it. We'll take it. Do you know what I mean? I like that. I like that. Shamrock might go. Hey, look, I don't know. This is gonna be crazy. I love the fact he has a fucking Cerberus sword. Or whatever. I love that idea so much. I'm sorry, I'm pronouncing stuff terribly, and I don't know why. It's like my fucking English has gone out the window. I don't know, but I am so excited. You have no idea. This shit is crazy. I do like, though, and this is just something I picked up on. Your one, whatever her name is, she has the powers, actual devil fruit powers, because she is probably like one of the slaves that were strong enough to become like recruited. Whereas Shamrock was probably born into Celestial Dragon, so he doesn't have a devil fruit directly. He gave his devil fruit to his weapon, or his weapon has the devil fruit, so he's not a disgrace or whatever. He's not the vile, the vile commoners with a devil fruit. He uses it. His weapon is he uses it to his advantage. No celestial dragon worth his salt would be a devil fruit user. Yuck, right? So that idea of them kind of using devil fruits for fun or for slaves still holds up, because as we know, a lot of the god knights might be hired for their strength and aren't actually like full-fledged celestial dragons, which I like the idea of personally. Oh man. So I love that idea as well. Obviously, I'm really excited. I can't even speak about it. I don't have much to say about this segment of the story. I will talk about Loki in depth. I'm going to reread Elbaf at some stage to talk about Loki. I just wanted to talk about how cool he was and how much I'm expecting, because I reread Dressrosa and I'm currently rewatching Alabasta. Vivi is so great. Vivi is actually so great. Like, if you can pull this off with the two major princess characters, I think they are, right? Obviously, you have Viola as well. I feel like everyone, like, I don't know if I missed it, right? But there was a whole scene everyone was always talking about. I don't know if it was just mentioned in the SBS. There was talking about like Viola's relationship with Doflamingo, and it is implied. But the way people were talking, like, the manga very clearly implied it. I didn't notice it. I had to go back, and if you phrase it like the way you phrased it, it could be interpreted in many different ways. But I don't know. It is fucking freaky as well. But she didn't get a lot of screen time. It was a much more Rebecca focus than I remember. But man, that, like, the paneling is a lot better as well than I remember, man. I swear that Jinbei panel is literally why we call Oda having bad paneling. It's just because of that one Jinbei panel. I swear he didn't actually fall off with paneling at all. I just want to apologize for that. Because that Dressrosa was beautiful in so many ways. I loved it. And if we can get a princess story like that, or like Vivi, and for Loki to be of that quality of character and be also really cool and have a really badass design. Because although I was just talking about how, I love Blackbeard's design now, I've come around to it, I still love some cool badass designs, I can't help it. But yeah, I think I'm gonna call it there for today. No, so half an hour. I went on for a while. I don't know how much of this was good. I'm just going in raw this time around. As I said, I'm having a bit of fun with it, so we're gonna keep all that shit in. Even the fucking God, I have to remember to fucking not drink coffee while I'm filming this next time. But yeah, thanks for watching. Sorry it was a bit rough. Hopefully I'll get better as I continue to do more of this again. It's good to be back. Hope you enjoyed. I'm a bit out of practice, so apologies if I swore a hell of a lot in this, and also probably spoke like a gobshite. But hey, look, thanks again for watching if you do, and hopefully you just come back again. And if not, well, we'll see. I'm gonna hopefully do this at least once a week whenever a chapter's out. I'm not gonna promise anything. Like, I'll try and get chapter stuff out. That's kind of my only promise. Break weeks and stuff, I don't think I'm gonna do anything, unless I have an idea. They're probably gonna be very unedited videos. I don't think I'm even gonna cut out the pauses at the start and stuff. I'm gonna just kind of keep it the way I want it to be, because I just want to have a bit of fun with it. Kind of the live stream feel. If you're interested on more weird ass content from me being a gobshite, I've streamed all of Final Fantasy VII Rebirth. You can find it on the channel. That was a brilliant game. I loved it as well. I might even make a video on it at some stage. We'll see, especially if I'm back to this now. And you know who you are, by the way, who convinced me to start this back up. So thanks a lot, because I got really hyped for this stuff again. I'm excited, man. I love doing this. Like, I love just talking about One Piece. If for granted I might seem a bit out of it, I'm just trying to get back into the flow, kind of get back into the feel of it. So I'm kind of working my way around it. I love this. By the way, this was all I got, all those for Christmas. So big ups to the people who got me this stuff. I really appreciate that. But I'll see you all next time. Goodbye.